told Rohit, my husband, very casually,
Really late, man.
you know what, maybe, I should not hesitate to go into politics. Like, why are we counting on someone else to become the PM? Rohit's first response is not, why do you think you can be the Prime Minister, right? His first response is, I don't want to live in Delhi. Hi, I'm Yamini Bhat. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Vymo. First time I got a scholarship for excelling in academics, right? And my school fees was waived off. And somehow I got addicted to the fact that that could happen. The fact that, a big chunk of your expense was school fees and that was waived off, and that I could be independent. Somehow this happened for the first time, I think, in 9th or 10th grade. And I just got addicted at that point to completely becoming financially independent. Our generation was the generation where every parent assumed that you would do your engineering and then you would go out, do your MS and join one of these companies and make a ton of money and settle down in the US, right? And it just didn't feel natural to me. I just felt like there were so many opportunities. There were so many problems around us, if you look at it that way, right? And therefore, problems are opportunities to build something. So why is our best talent not feeling like they need to solve problems here? I did my MBA in India, then joined McKinsey. Most of my work was on sales transformation. So I'd worked for 3 years in India and then for 2 years in the US. Across the board, I was doing sales transformation, which is basically we have 5,000 salespeople. Each of them is selling on an average this much per year. How can we make that number higher? That was the typical problem statement, right? So I'd done more than 20 sales transformation programs where fundamentally the tools that were available to us did not help us really understand what salespeople were good or not good at on the go. With 5,000-10,000 salespeople in some of these large enterprises, the problem is at a scale which is, which leads to humongous loss in overall productivity. So it just felt like a problem that needed a new generation of technology to solve. And that's how the idea came into being. Then it was more about independently being able to build something and create value, right? And building that out of India. Venkat and I were batchmates, my co-founder and me, and both of us were merit scholars. So you can be a merit scholar only if you get 10 out of 10 on every single course.
These are the sequence of things. Then individually the PMs...
We stayed in touch, and then Venkat had this itch of starting up and moving back to India. Around the same time, I had gone to the US with McKinsey, and I had this itch of starting up and moving back to India.
I am kind of defining the momentum on...
And I sat down to really think what I wanted to do, ran a few ideas past him, and decided to start Vymo.
I'm Venkat. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Vymo. Imagine a bank or an insurance company, 50,000, 70,000, 100,000 employees on the ground, right? They need to get visibility into what's happening. So what we try to do is marry these two problem statements. So from an organizational perspective, are you learning from your best salespeople and translating that into contextual nudges and use those nudges to tell the right salesperson at the right time the right action they should take.
So this was the first time we were doing a pilot with a financial institution. And the client who ran the pilot for us, he went to his boss and gave him 2 pieces of paper. One was a purchase order for Vymo, and the second one was his resignation letter. And he said, you've given me steep targets. I've not walked away from that, but I've proven to you that Vymo is the solution I need to be able to meet those numbers and beat them. And without that, I've shown you that it's not possible. So you'll have to sign one of these papers. Pick which one you want to. And the next day we got the purchase order. And that was the first time we realized how powerful what we were building could become. I've been extremely lucky because I had parents who never, I have an older brother and a younger sister, never once ever said that I could not do something that my brother could do or that I could not be something that I wanted to be. Never once.
And what about the other one? The first one.
I hear stories from women on our team or women we are trying to hire, how they've been told that I don't want to have a nanny in the house. I don't want to eat yesterday's food. We can't be ordering in. Let's cook at home. We should be able to cook for ourselves. Hey, if you are going to be a mother, then you have to dial down on your job, right? Only now I look back, right, because we're trying to increase the ratio of women at Vymo. It's about 25, 26%. And for a year, we've been trying to get to 30 aggressively. I've heard so many blanket boundary conditions that women that we are trying to hire have to face. And I've never had to face any of this, right? And outside of Rohit, even my in-laws, they are probably one of these rare in-laws who have said that, you don't have to live with us. But we have been these reverse I've been this reverse daughter-in-law who's been extremely parasitic. And wherever they move, I move into the same building. And it's not just that they support, that they unconditionally support and have never once questioned, the logic of what I'm doing or the need to do what I'm doing. They've just said, go with it if you believe in it, right? And we'll support you. And then Rohit, my husband, who he's just been such a huge support. It's not just like, it's more than equal parenting. There are many, many times when he's had to take 80% of the load, 90% of the load, and he's actually done that without ever making me feel like I'm asking him to do it or forcing him into something, right? He helped me build leverage. But motherhood completely turned this on its head. We've been gifted with kids who like to wake up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. and are extremely overactive in the mornings. And they go to schools which need them to leave home by 7 a.m. So it almost feels like you're living a life before 7 a.m. and then you're getting into your own life. But it's been a joy, and I've been able to discover things that I never thought I would get joy out of. At 20, I think I was reasonably this direction. That direction did not turn out to be the right for my personality. At 30, I was clear on doing what I love. I mean, having complete freedom to do what I love. At 40, I figured out how I want to give back. So I don't know if for everyone it takes that long.
The whole thing was, how do you build a company from India serving global customers? I mean, that product companies can come out of here. I mean, she's had multiple options to go and do something outside. And at each time she has said that she wants to build in India.
One of the lasting strengths a company can build is its people and the culture you can create, right? And people need a reason to belong to one place versus another. And that's been the philosophy of how, that's been a central tenet to how we have thought of how we build Vymo out. We believe with the right culture can create an army of 500 people who build out probably 500 other companies.